Hello, everybody, and welcome back to On the Diamond and Into the Deep. It is Monday, April 29th. We are a month into the baseball season, and the Mariners are in an interesting place. Mariners are 15 and 12, 15 and 13, might be 15 and 13, half game ahead of the Rangers for first place, with a series against the star-studded Atlanta Braves. It's the return of Jared Kelenic. Starts tonight. Max Fried will be on the mound for the Braves. Bryce Miller for the Mariners. I will be there tomorrow night for Luis Castillo versus Reynaldo Lopez. Hancock and Sale will go at it for Game 3. And it could be a very important series. Anyways, there's been a lot happening in Seattle sports. So we're quickly going to recap all that. And then we'll get into some Mariners. And we'll begin with some recap of Arizona and Texas series. And then we will get into the preview of the Atlanta Braves series with the Seattle Mariners. And I do want to just say, there was no episode at the end of last week. Sorry about that. I was very busy last week with soccer, practices, and a bunch of different things. So I was not able to get that in. But, let's get into it. Now, let's start with some very negative stuff. It's the Seattle Sounders. Extremely negative. They have still got one win on the season. And they have 3 red cards in their last 2 games. It has been a mess, to say the least. There's not really another way to say it. They've been god-awful. And it might be time for change. Just throwing it out there. I don't know what needs to change, but something needs to change, and fast. Moving on. Seattle Kraken today fired now former head coach Dave Hakstol. First head coach in the history of the team, the organization, whatever you want to call it. First Kraken head coach in history has now been fired. So, who will come after him? What will we see Ron Francis looking for in a head coach? What will be different? What will be the same as Hakstol? As there were definitely positives Hakstol brought. And this was a little bit of a surprise for people, including myself. I didn't think they were going to take this route. But I'm not mad they did. Definitely not mad they did. Now, the Seattle Seahawks. NFL draft was last weekend. First round pick. They knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. We won't know till he plays, but Byron Murphy, defensive tackle. The dude could be ridiculous. So, watch him. Watch him play. He's going to cause some chaos. Second round pick. Second round pick was Leonard Williams. Third round pick was also a starter. This dude will be, I think his name is Christian Hayes. He will be starting at probably right guard for your Seahawks, competing with Anthony Bradford. We'll see what we see. Now, back to Mariners. Let's get into Mariners land, y'all. Mariners got 2 straight series wins. We're now at 4 straight, I want to say. 4 straight. They won 2 out of 3 in Texas. Then won 2 out of 3 back at T-Mobile Park against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, they're now in first place, and they're looking good. Let's begin with the Texas series. Game 1, I'm just going to quickly go through these 3 games. Game 1, Julio and Cal both had 2 run homers. Logan Gilbert, 6 2/3, no earnies, no runs, 6 strikeouts, leading them to a victory. Game 2, Josh Rojas, 2 for 5. Bryce Miller had 4 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, and the Mariners lost that game. Game 3, continuing Game 2, they had 14 strikeouts at the plate that day, which is a whole lot too many. They came back in Game 3 with France and Urias both hitting homers, as Castillo went 6 innings, 2 earnies against a very tough lineup in Texas, and the high leverage arms in terms of Stanek, Spire, and Mooney, they all came up clutch for the Game 3 win and the series win. Now, second series we're going to talk about is against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're going to go more into depth about this series because this was an interesting series. Game 1 began with a Josh Rojas leadoff homer. Now, if you've been listening for a little bit, you know I am a big Josh Rojas fan. And before the season, I thought he was going to do some fun stuff. And you look at what he's been this season, we'll talk about it in a little bit. But, boy, he has been something else, man. We'll talk about Player of the Month on Thursday/Friday's episode. Probably gonna be a Thursday episode. I would say probably this week. I'll probably be able to get that out then. Anyways, with that, we'll talk about players of the month in that episode, and you can probably predict who's gonna be the pitcher of the month, who's gonna be the reliever of the month, who is going to be the hitter of the month. Especially as I'm basically saying who the hitter of the month is going to be now. But continuing, he hit a leadoff home run that game. He has been fantastic. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Continuing on that game, they had a ratio of strikeouts to walks of 6-3, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks as hitters. Mitch Haniger came up with a massive, massive grand slam that really gave them the win. Without that, it would have been a very close game for the relievers, and it would have been a bullpen battle. They probably come out victorious on that, but you never know. The bullpen can be very questionable from game to game. You never know what's going to happen. There was a little bit of luck involved. I do want to mention that Zach Gallen left injured. So hope he's all good. That would really suck for the Diamondbacks. I'm definitely not going to be the type of person that's hating on the Diamondbacks at all. I actually like the Diamondbacks. Like, they're a really fun team to watch. Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, Christian Walker, Gabriel Moreno, and then the pitching staff, Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen. These dudes are fun to watch, man. Paul Sewald, Eugenio Suarez, who returned home in this game. Full of bear hugs. Ty France gets a bear hug. Julio gets a bear hug. Scott Service gets a bear hug. Cal Raleigh gets a bear hug. The fans get a bear hug. The dude is just actually good vibes only, and I know that's his motto, and it's a little bit cliche to say it, but the dude is he really is good vibes only. There's not really another way to say it. I think the vibes he brings is just unmatched, and I would love him to be back on the team just for those, even if he's just on the bench and vibing out, you know? Continuing on, Emerson Hancock. Fantastic start. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It is earned. 2 walks, only 4 strikeouts, but he got 7 whiffs. The dude threw 6 innings of 1-run ball against a very good Diamondbacks lineup. And they are struggling. I do want to say that. This lineup has been struggling for the Diamondbacks. But take no credit away. The dude has been unbelievable this year. He's been a 5-starter and more. There's not much more you can expect from him. He's been a lot better than we've expected, and he has really allowed them to be in the place they are right now. Without him, say he struggled, this team would not be above 500. I'll tell you that much right now. He has been crucial, and Brian Woo's getting back. He's had now 2 rehab assignments, so that is very good to see. I believe he's supposed to have 1 more, and then he might be back, and we'll see what they choose to do. Is it the type of thing where they go, Woo start, Hancock start, Woo start, Hancock start? I don't know. I have no idea, but it would be a very interesting way to do it. Anyways, continue on game 1. Julio Rodriguez, Mitch Haniger, Jorge Polo Polanco, and Viva la France all had 2 hard-hit baseballs. Good signs, especially for Haniger, Polanco, and Ty. Julio's been hitting the ball pretty hard. He needs to elevate it. Once he starts elevating it, that ball is going to be flying out of the yard, and you are going to be seeing a streak. I don't want to say similar to last year, because that is practically unheard of. But you could see a home run streak like he really hasn't had in his career. Home runs and doubles will come. With how hard he is hitting the ball, they will come. Dude's not going to hit the ball on the ground over and over again. Anyways, Haniger, Polanco, and Ty France. That is big. France has been hitting the ball hard, so that's good to see. But Polanco and Haniger have been struggling, especially the past couple of weeks. So good to see them get on the board with a couple hard hits. You're going to need those 2 and Mitch Garver to step up if you want to do stuff. You cannot have Polanco running a 30% strikeout. Mitch Garver running a 40% strikeout. You can't be having that. You gotta have these dudes have to be the dudes they've been in their career. They really do. And I expected good seasons from them. And I still do. We're still only a month into the season. I don't want to say it's still early, as it's a little bit cliche, but it's still early. Look at Matt Chapman last year. He had a very good April, and you're like, oh, here we go, Matt Chapman. He's on an MVP pace. He's probably not going to keep it up, but He's at least their all-star, and the dude was terrible the rest of the year. He was horrible the rest of the year. And I don't want to talk about Matt Chapman because my boy Josh Rojas has been better than Matt Chapman would have been. Like, I don't want to hear no more of this third base talk. None of it. None of it. None of it. What they need now, really, is a corner outfielder. They need a corner outfielder. Bad. They need one bad. And maybe a reliever. Which would make their bullpen back to the few bullpen it's been. And that's fun. That bullpen is a lot of fun. Anyways, they won this game 6-1. This was Friday night. Big time. Josh Rojas probably player of the game. Emerson Hancock had a massive start. Mitch Haniger against the Grand Slam. Maybe he is player of the match, player of the game. Whatever you want to say. Really important, though, to jump all over Gallen. Or jump all over the bullpen as soon as Gallen was out of there. And they really did in big fashion with the Mitch Haniger Grand Slam that bounced off the top of the wall. It was like, ba-doo, doink, and it bounced right into the bullpen. Bullpen arms are like, ah! Mitch Haniger hits a little shaka to him. It's just vibes. It really is. And I think vibes are a massive part of what the Mariners are trying to do. And it's fun. Continuing on with the good vibes, though. They won 3-1 second game. Ty France, 2-run big boy bomb. So you love to see it. Mitch Garver also had an okay game. But mostly, this was George Kirby's night. There's no other way. Your pitcher of the week, Jorginho Kirby. George Kirby. The little pink guy from Mario. That's the dude I'm talking about. 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts for a career high in strikeouts. The dude was unfreaking believable. He really was just unbelievable. I don't really know what else you can say. The dude was unbelievable. He produced 23 whiffs in this game. 23. He was up to 99 with his fastball. Maxed out at 99.3. The dude was locked in. This might be the best I've ever seen George Kirby. He was zoned in. Luke Raley had a 2-hit game. But George Kirby, again, the star of the show, as he led them to a massive 3-1 victory, series win. And they went into Sunday thinking, oh, we could have a sweep on our hands. They did not get it. I didn't actually watch this third game. I was at Aladdin and eating dumplings at Dough Zone. But Josh Rojas, my boy, the boy is hot. The boy is rolling. He is your player of the week. 191 WRC plus in the past week. He had 2 homers, both of them leadoff homers against his former club, the Arizona Diamondbacks, with the second coming in this loss on Sunday. The dude led off the game again with a homer, and don't take him out of the leadoff spot against righties. If you're facing a lefty, go put him on the bench and let's see Luis Urias. It's working. Don't mess with what's working. It's a saying, Don't fix what ain't broke. Is that what he say? Don't fix what ain't broke. Don't. How does it go? Don't fix what ain't broke. Don't. I think that's how it goes. I don't really know what else it would be. I don't know where I'm going with this. Josh Rojas, again. The dude's hot. Dude's unbelievable. WRC plus of 191 last week, which led him to my player of the week again. The dude's getting a little trophy. I don't have one for you, Josh. I'm sorry. Sorry, Josh. If I had a trophy here, I would give you a trophy. You want this Julio Rodriguez Funko Pop? Actually, that's mine. How about this little train? Train. I got Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, Dave Niehaus, Alvin Davis on the other side. You want the train? Or I got a little teal train. You want that? Sorry, Josh. I don't really got a trophy, but player of the week. Fantastic from Josh Rojas, though, in all seriousness. Great week. Pitcher of the week was George Kirby, so he'll get one of those trophies, one of those trains too, I guess. Let's get into more negatives, though. The lineup was not good enough. You gotta give more run support. You can't be scoring 3 runs a game, 2 runs a game, and expecting to win every single game. And maybe it was just a 1 game, and we'll see tonight as they face Max Fried. But 15 strikeouts, no walks, and only 5 hits, especially with no hits following the 3rd inning, and I'll get into that in a second. But that's not good enough. What were they doing in those games that they were successful? That sweep they had against Cincinnati, what did they do in all 3 of those games? They worked the pitcher out of the game early. They saw pitches. They got walks. They got runners on base. They caused havoc. They caused chaos. You have to get back to doing that. You have to work these pitchers. And if they're giving you fastballs in the zone or hung sliders or anything like that, you got to put the bat on it and hit the ball freaking hard. No more of this Mitch Garver getting a slider or a changeup at the top of the zone and whiffing on it. No more of that. No more of this chasing balls 3 feet off the plate. No more handing the pitcher strikeouts, handing the pitcher outs. Every out is valuable. Every single one. You can't hand the other team outs. And that's what they were doing in this game. 15 strikeouts, that's handing 15 outs. And yes, some of them I know were good pitches and were good strikeouts. But 15 strikeouts, that is partially on you. I'm sorry, but that is partially on you. You have got to be better. Continuing on that 5-hit thing, none of which coming after the 3rd inning, in which Mitch Garver and Ty France, first Ty France comes up, bases loaded, no outs. You're up 2-1. This is your moment. You just gotta add a few runs, and you add a few runs, and you probably win this game. Actually, you definitely win this game. You come through with a single, drives in 2, come in with a double, drives in 2 or 3, and you win this game. Alright? You win this game, and you leave the stadium with a series sweep over last season's NL champions, the freaking Arizona Diamondbacks. And yes, they're struggling, but I don't care. After that first game, my thought was, oh, you could sweep this series. And yes, a series win is a success. And I will say that every time they win a series. All you have to do is win series, win series, win series, win series. And they will stack upon each other as long as you continue winning series. And you will have a good season. But this was an opportunity for a little bit more. And it was in the palm of your hand. In the 3rd inning, it was in the palm of your hand. You couldn't get through with your 4 and 5 hitters. To Mitch Garver, the dude that you acquired to be better at this. The dude you acquired to come through in situations like this and get you RBIs. Because last year, how many times did you see them load the bases, no outs, pop up, strike out, whatever, double play, and you're out of it? This time it wasn't Ty France getting the double play, though. I would have preferred that, to be honest. Because they probably would have scored a run if Ty France had gotten the double play. But no, Mitch Garver has to do it. Just terrible. Really, really just awful. So embarrassing. And you don't get another hit after that. It derails any sort of movement your train has. Your train is steaming forward over the past 2 weeks. And you just... brutal. Wipe it and move on, but brutal. That cannot happen. A positive, Julio Rodriguez had another 2 hard hit baseballs. So good sign there. He's continuing to hit the ball hard. And again, as soon as he elevates, this ball is going to be flying out of the ballpark, similar to how it did on that homer in Texas, which I didn't actually talk about. But the dude hit his first homer. Woo! I said it was going to happen. Go back and listen to the last episode if you haven't. I said it was going to happen. It happened. Thank God. I mean, monkey off the shoulder. I say this a lot, but monkey off the shoulder. Now let's go get more. Elevate the ball. Logan Gilbert in Game 3 was, again, really, really good. 6 in the 3rd innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He got a no decision in this game as he left with a 2-2 ball game. But again, this game really was decided when you couldn't come through with no outs, bases loaded in the 3rd inning against a starter that was on the ropes. You just got to continue getting them on the ropes. This is what I was talking about just a second ago, where you're working these starters and you're getting them out of the game early, and that's what I love to see against Hunter Green. That game against Hunter Green that I was at, that game was brilliant because they got him out of the game because they worked him. And they didn't have that many runs against him, but they worked him. They got him out of the game after 4 innings. You're going to have to do that again this next series. You're going to have to continue doing that all season. There will be games here and there where you don't do that. You're going to get pitched to really well, but it can't happen that often. You got to be better than that. As I said, player of the week was Josh Rojas. Pitcher of the week, George Kirby, for his outing on Saturday. Overall, 2 great series wins. It will come down to this Atlanta game, this Atlanta series. If you can win 2 out of 3 in this series, I'm going to feel freaking fantastic. You sweep this series, I'm telling you right now, we will win the World Series. If you win 1 out of 3, I'm not mad. Not mad at all. That's what I was expecting from these 3 series against these 3 clubs. If you get swept, it's a reality check. Back to basics. Let's get locked in again. But yeah, let's get into that series, shall we? I just want to first say welcome back, Jared Kelnick. I've got my JK t-shirt on. I loved this kid, man. I really did. I thought he was going to be so good. He was the first prospect that I'd really followed all the way to the majors, and I thought he was going to be so freaking good. I thought he was going to be so good. And he was just blah. I mean, really, you're going to see whichever version of him you're going to see this week. It's either going to be him striking out every at bat, or he's going to be homering every at bat. That's basically who he is at this point, and it sucks. It really does. I really do wish all the best, other than the series to him. I hope he strikes out every at bat, or at least grounds out, or doesn't hammer them. But he might turn into Hammering Hank for this series. You'll never know. Overall, the Braves, their best 3 hitters so far this year. I really just want to emphasize that. Ronald Acuna Jr. is their best player, and he's their best hitter. He hasn't had the craziest start to the year. Marcell Ozuna has been unbelievable to start this year. Ozzy Albies just came back from injury, but he has been great this year. Michael Harris Jr. has also been fantastic this year. He's out of that sophomore slump here, and he is rocking and rolling again. If you can avoid homers, you're going to be in an okay spot. In terms of how you're going to approach these dudes, I'm going to talk about Ozuna and Albies really quick. They're very much polar opposites. Ozuna, don't throw sweepers. Don't throw sliders. He's going to kill them. With Ozzy Albies, throw the slider. That's the pitch he struggled against the most. So throw him. Make him hit that. We'll see what happens, though. They could torch you. Game 1. Max Fried. Bryce Miller. Let's talk Fried. Force Max Fried to walk you. Avoid strikeouts. Get walks. I'm really serious about this. Alright? I'm very serious. He's going to get a lot of soft contact from you. It's going to be a lot of contact, a lot of soft contact. Very much so soft contact. So you're going to need production from your righties in the lineup, as he is a southpaw. And a good one. A very good one. Alright? He's had a great start to the year so far. The only pitch that he's had very much damage off of this year has been his four seam. So force him to throw that. Don't chase. Don't whiff on the off speed and breaking pitches. If it's in the zone, hit it. If it's out of the zone, don't swing at it. And if you get bad calls from the umps, you get bad calls from the umps. All right. If that happens, chalk it off. Let's go, and continue getting to that fastball. Work it, progress it, get to the fastball, and if you're given the fastball, crush it. Crush the living hell out of it, all right? But you got to get there first. He's not just going to throw it to you. He is 65% ground ball. That is unbelievable, and that's partially due to his sinker, but he's also only 13% fly ball, so he's going to be getting a lot of ground balls. Watch for that. If they start to elevate the ball, you could see some interesting stuff happening. And again, get to the fastball. Don't let him throw you pitches where he's going to get the ball on the freaking ground. His pitch mix, let's just start there. Pitch mix, 30% four-seam, 19% curveball, 15% sinker, 15% changeup, 11% sweeper, 6% slider, 3% cutter. What does that tell you? Mostly going to be four-seam sinker in terms of fastballs. Mostly going to be curveball changeup in terms of off-speed, breaking, anything like that. Sweeper and slide-up will be thrown in a little bit. Cutter might be thrown if he wants to throw it. But he probably won't even have to get there because they'll probably get crushed by his fastball, crushed by his curveball, crushed by his changeup, crushed by his sinker, and that's probably all he'll really need. Go Mariners! But in all seriousness, get the ball off the freaking ground, and if it's on the ground, find the holes. And some of that's luck, obviously, but just hit the ball hard, please. Please hit the ball hard, and lay off these dumb pitches that are way outside the zone. Don't gift him stuff. It's gonna be a trend all year. Do not gift pitchers stuff. Don't gift outs. Don't gift strikes. It's crucial. Game 2, this is also gonna be a thing. Don't gift these dudes stuff. All right, I'm 100% serious. And you're probably gonna be like, oh, well, what do you mean? Why is that so important? I'm telling you this right now because I have a stat for you. They are facing Reynaldo Lopez in game 2. Let's talk about his strikeout percentage in terms of what happens with the first pitch. When the first pitch is a ball and he gets to a 1-0 count, the strikeout percent goes to 8. He is just an 8% strikeout percentage when the count starts 1-0. When it's the opposite and it starts 0-1, 43%. That is a massive, massive, massive disparity. So watch for that first pitch. If he's throwing first pitch strikes, oh boy, we could be in for a night because he's a good strikeout pitcher. He's got a 45% whiff on curve and slider, and he has not given up an extra base hit against either of those. Just like game 1, get to the fastball. Get to the fastball and work your counts. It is crucial. He's gonna give up some hard contact to you. So when he does, he's gonna give you some barrels. He's gonna give you a little bit of hard hit, not a ton. Or yeah, actually, he'll give you decent hard hit. He's in the 29th percentile, so not amazing in terms for him. He's gonna give you some exit velo. He's gonna get some hard hit. That's been really the only place he struggled this year. He has been fantastic. His breaking balls have been the 100th percentile in the entire league. His off speed has been where he struggled. His off speed is changed up though, and he's only thrown it 8 times this year. So you're not going to see much of the changeup, if any of it. You're going to see 4-seam slider, curveball. Get away from that slider and the curveball. Force him to throw the fastball. And his fastball is good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good. But that's your best shot of hitting anything. That is your best shot of hitting anything against him. Again, don't fall behind in the count. His put-away pitch is that slider. It'll be the fastball every once in a while, but mostly it's going to be the slider, especially against the Mariners, as they suck against sliders. This is the only righty you're going to face in this series, so this is the chance for Josh Rojas, Luke Raley, to get in, get some at-bats, and crush. This is your chance. You have to. The curveball is going to be used to get lefties out mostly and get ahead and back into counts. That's what that's used for. It's not really a put-away pitch. It's going to be used to sneak some strikes and get a little bit of whiff when it's, say, 0-1 or 1-0 or 2-1. But it's not going to be the pitch that you're seeing with 2 strikes. That's not what it's used for. That's going to be the slider, and every once in a while the fastball, more likely elevated if it's the fastball. Game 3, Chris Sale. I'm just going to say it right now. You're probably losing this game. Chris Sale is probably going to torch them. They're not very good against Chris Sale in their careers. I don't even want to look at stats for that. But with his arm angle and his heavy slider usage, they really have no chance. You're going to need big series from your big right-handed hitters. So Ty France, obviously Julio Rodriguez, as always. But Mitch Garver, you're going to really need a big series from, and Mitch Haniger. The Mitches have to have a good series. If you don't get a good series from the Mitches, you're not going to do well in the series. If you do get a good series from the Mitches and Julio, you can have a good series. But it's going to be crucial. And Mitch Garver has historically done very well against lefties. So maybe this is his chance to really get off on his right foot, really get back to who he needs to be, and maybe this is the breakout series we could see. I'm not going to bet on it. Or maybe I am. As Mitch Garver is your Mahal Mariner of the series. He is my Mariner. Mahal's Mariner. He's the dude I believe will have a great series. It is Mitch Garver. I'll tell you that right now. Back to Sale, though. Sale, heavy slider, heavy 4-seam. Mostly, he's majority slider, shockingly. The change will be the put-away pitch if he's facing righties. So if you're a righty, watch for that. Don't lay off of it, please. Cal Raleigh's been trash. Really just horrendous against changeups, so he'll probably get some strikeouts as a right-handed hitter. Get him off the slider, get him to the fastball, and if you get to the fastball, hit it when it's over the plate. This is a serious thing I'm talking about. This is the case for every team, but the Mariners especially. If you can get them off of this off-speed pitches, off of their breaking pitches, get them to the fastball, you can hit the fastball. That's a big thing. He's also a ground ball pitcher, so you're going to see more ground balls. Again, elevate the ball. Really, please, elevate the ball. My keys to the series, clean pitching. What do I mean by that? Quality starts. You don't have to be no runs every game. I just want a quality start. Get 6 innings, 2 runs. 7 innings, 2 runs. 7 innings, 3 runs, a little bit there. But if you can be 6 or 7 innings under 2 runs, I feel really good about that start. Really good about that start. And if you're one of the better if you're Luis Castillo going tomorrow night, I would love to see 7 innings, 1 or 2 runs. Please. You're going to need a big start against Ronaldo Lopez. You're going to need a big start against all these dudes. But if there's one game I think they could win, it's either tonight or it's tomorrow. I think game 3 is probably going to be a wash. Hancock against Sale. Don't think you're going to be able to win that game. You're going to need production from your big righties, but especially the middle end of your lineup, you're going to need production from. Can Dylan Moore be the dude he is against lefties? Can he get on base? Can newly called up Sam Haggerty get on base? What are you going to see against some southpaws? You're going to see 3 of them this week. Those 2 and also Valdez of the Astros. What are you going to see? You're going to need big series from the Mitches, especially Mitch Garver, but also Jorge Polanco. I'd love to see Jorge Polanco and Mitch Garver just have fantastic series and really shut up Mariners Twitter. Like, really, please. Julio, if he starts to elevate the ball, and he could. If he does, though, as soon as he does, ball is going to be upper deck, halfway up in left field, and it's going to be bomb after bomb after bomb, and it's going to be fun. So hopefully that starts now against them, and then that continues to Houston, where he's parking them to the train tracks every at bat. That'd be a whole lot of fun. They have a good bullpen, but get to the pen, work it. Make sure that you can do that in all the games, and if you can do that in all the games, you can work their pen to the point where they have to use their worst dudes, and then you can hit them. Do not let Ronald Acuna Jr. get hot. All right? Please. Do not. Rayleigh's probably only going to get 1 at bat, or 1 game in the series, but if he has more, I think he's going to outperform Jared Kelenic in the lefty strikeout home run battle. It's like a boxing match. But one of those 2 dudes, I bet, will have a decent series, as they're basically the same player. Or they both have bad series. But Rayleigh probably won't play a lot, as he is a lefty, and they are facing multiple lefties. If you can get a bounce back start from Bryce Miller just to close this out, that is going to be huge. He had a little bit of a tough start in Texas, only making it 4, but he struggled there a lot, and a good start against the Braves would go a lot. And he has been very good, and I think that you might get it. I'm going to throw that out there. I think you could get it. Lastly, in Mariners land, let's talk some injuries. J.P. Crawford, grade 1 oblique strain. Not terrible. He's probably going to be out about a month. You're going to need production from not only a shortstop position, but also the leadoff. You're going to need production from Julio Rodriguez against lefties, Josh Rojas against righties. I wrote an article about this for Sports Journalism Club today. So when that's out, go read it. I will post on my Twitter when that is out. I will also probably post on my Instagram when that's out. So go give that a listen once it's out. The bigger news there, though, is Matt Brash. Matt Brash was in his last day before he started rehab assignment, and every throw, he said, felt awful. And from the way Justin Hollander said it and what he said, they are extremely worried. This could be TJ. I don't want to speculate about it. We'll talk about it when it officially happens, or when news really comes out. But he's seeing another doctor. He probably will get a couple opinions, and he's just had a tough time bouncing back from high effort throws. So prayers up for Matt Brash. Knock on some wood. But it really does suck. I feel for him. He was so close. He was so close to rejoining. And this bullpen was going to be so much fun when he got back. And if Santos hopefully gets back. But Santos has now become even more crucial, and be very careful with him because I want to be able to see him this year, and you're going to need another high leverage arm back there. Bad. You are badly going to. Anyways, that's going to close it out for today's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll be back probably releasing on Thursday. Might be recording either Wednesday night or Thursday night, but I'll probably be back Thursday. If not, it'll be out Friday. But thank you all so much for listening. I hope that you all have a fantastic, fantastic day. Go Mariners, y'all. Go Hawks. Let's get a series win here. You get a series win here, and I feel great. So let's do it. Anyways, peace out, y'all. Go Mariners.